What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Wolf's Den. If you're new to the channel, I know I've been getting a lot more subscribers lately. This is my weekly podcast where we cover the highlights from gaming and film news throughout the week and kind of sum it up into one big podcast. And yeah, it's really just to kind of give me an extra take on certain things. I do try to make quick videos for the most part, so this gives me an opportunity to talk more on topics if you guys are interested. So there are timestamps below if you guys do want to jump around a bit, so check those out. And let's get started with the news highlights. When it comes to gaming, Modern Warfare 2, the last podcast that I did was I was waiting to go to the midnight release for Modern Warfare 2, so now I can actually talk about it freely after playing it for, I think I'm at like 56 hours in, and it's been getting a lot of criticism. Obviously the game is not perfect. It is a mess. It's a buggy mess. It's just not what we all expected. We expected a game to actually run, but other than that, it's a little empty. There's no barracks, no combat record, not a lot of challenges. It's basically right now, you play the game, you get to rank 55, you max out all the guns, and you run for camo grinding. And that is basically all we have right now until Warzone 2 comes out, I believe, in about a little over a week. And we're also going to get a patch to fix a bunch of things. Hopefully they integrate a new UI, and that'll be a decent start. I know people are pissed off about, saying the game is just boring. I don't think it's boring. I think it's just lacking content. 6 maps is not enough. Like, I took a break from it yesterday because it just gets old. The maps get old, and with people, the main problem is the community. If you give people like riot shields, they're just gonna use them out of the ass, abuse it because they know that it's broken, and that's just usually how it goes with the Call of Duty community. They make it worse. They make matters worse than they already were, and that's just a reality of Call of Duty. And I know you compare it to Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 3, which this smashed MWII sales record with 800 million in 3 days, so if you compare it to those classic Call of Duties, that's just a different era of Call of Duty, and some people like the Blame Truth, the COD Godfather, says he's an OG Call of Duty fan. He's been playing since COD 4. Well, bud, I've been playing since Finest Hour. Okay, I'm the real OG. Got you? All right, but and I don't know. Call of Duty just has its eras, and the quicker you realize that, the more you're not going to be upset. Call of Duty has never been a game to really get your titties in a twist over. It's just Call of Duty, and it's going to evolve and change, and you just have to accept that. And I've been a big Call of Duty fan since I was a teenager, but that was its peak for me, and that was probably a peak for a lot of other people. But right now, this shit's cool as fuck for some people that love Warzone, and they love the graphics, and they just love this style of Call of Duty. Is it really for me? I mean, it's fun. It's not. The gameplay and the graphics have been phenomenal. Everybody knows this. No one can deny it. And that's really all we expect from a Call of Duty is good gameplay and good graphics. But we also want, a combat record, and we want challenges and things to do. And I think they could have put in more Spec Ops missions. I think they could have did a lot more with this game. But I don't know. I think with 3,000 developers in 3 years, you could have gave us something more, which is disappointing. But are you hurting my feelings? No. Am I mad that I paid $70? No. I'm not fucking stupid. If I hate the game, I hate the game. Excuse me. I don't hate the game. It's not terrible. It's a decent time. You just can't burn yourself out, and like Blame the Truth, the COD Godfather. I've been watching him recently, kind of usually whenever he's on his rants about Call of Duties, but he definitely exaggerates and just goes overboard with everything. Like, oh, it's so boring. It's so boring. I'm like, bro, you're not even ranked 55. You haven't unlocked everything. And every time I see your gameplay commentaries, you're using a fucking shotgun, bro. Like, that's like, I've tried it because I've been flipping around every gun and all that. And I went to shotguns. I tried out the shotgun he's into. Not into it whatsoever. but then I went to, I think, the Expedite something, can't remember, but it's just boring gameplay. I can't, like, I'll admit that's boring as fuck. I don't want to walk around with my trigger finger like fucking like twitching, like, oh my god, like as soon as I see someone, all I gotta do is just unleash this finger in any general direction and it's a one shot. And in some cases, some people are using the Olympia and doing long shots. I'm like, this is bullshit as fuck. It's broken. It's bullshit. It's dicky. Like, there's other ways to play this game. You know how many fucking broken guns are in this game, and this motherfucker just plays with a shotgun? It's so infuriating. And then has the goal to be like, it's boring. It's so fucking boring. It's like, it's really not that boring. Okay, there's like, you know, there's a couple maps that are really toxic, like Tarok and that highway one, which I can play the highway one. I'm not the type to leave a lobby over a map, like, unless I repeatedly get this fucking map. Then because that did happen a little bit at the launch. I would literally play the same map in rotation. It would start getting irritating. But to call the game boring and all you do is run shotguns and you don't want to progress the weapons, you don't want to really do anything that they have implemented into the game. You know, that's the main thing, is to play with all these different guns and unlock other guns and all that business. But, you know, 6 maps is a little light, but is that necessarily completely terrible? I mean, if they start adding some maps, I can forgive it, but, you know, I don't know. It's just not that boring to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm indifferent. I don't know. Maybe I'm a minority, but I've had fun. Could be better. Could be, you know, I wish the UI, and I guess with this recent update, it made my gameplay really weird. Like my players and my enemies were like staggering, like they were glitching in place, and the frame rate was really bugging out. You know, it was just them. It wasn't the actual game. Like, the whole map was fine, but anytime I'd see somebody, it would bug out. But that was only for, I think, one day, and they must have fixed that. But I don't know. It's something. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of Modern Warfare 2 and the gameplay. If you're enjoying it, if you're not. I've kind of seen mixed reviews on all the polls I've posted below. So, you know, it's a mixed bag. I think they need to add some stuff, and hopefully we get that zombies mode that was leaked out. The next thing I want to talk about is Naughty Dog is making a new game from a beloved franchise, quote unquote. I've seen a lot of people talking about Uncharted 4 sequel, you know, another Uncharted. I don't want another Uncharted. I just want them to leave Uncharted in the past for a little bit, you know, wait until you can do a reboot or have a really, you know, graphical upgrade, because I honestly just want Jak and Daxter. Give me a Jak and Daxter game, please. Reboot that motherfucker. Thank you. That would be amazing. Can you imagine? I think it would be nice if they skipped Precursor Legacy and just went into Jak 2. You know, that style, that moody setting that they had, you know, with the city, and what they could do with that city with the PlayStation 5 would be amazing. Can you imagine what they could do with Jak and Daxter 2? Just like, think about that game, but on a PS5. It just sounds phenomenal. You know, basically, you know, what they did with Final Fantasy 7, and then with that remake, it just turned that game into a work of art. Honestly, like, they could do a lot with Jak and Daxter, and that story is cool. The gameplay, if it's smooth, it would be amazing. It would be so fucking fun. We also got some news on God of War, which this is actually like 3 things, but, you know, I kind of lumped it together. But we have confirmed that it's going to be about a 20 to 25 hour story. If you want to do the rest of the side missions, etc., it's going to probably go up to about 65 hours, which is cool. I can sink in about 40-50 hours easy. Obviously, Modern Warfare 2, I'm up to almost 60 hours, so I can't wait to put some time into God of War. The reviews shocked the internet with the insane high scores, you know, 9, 9.5, 10 out of 10s across the board, you know, and this is resulting with God of War becoming the highest rated PlayStation 5 exclusive. So that's just awesome. I wasn't expecting those review scores whatsoever. You know, like, I was expecting at least an 8, 8.5, but across the board, 9, 9.5. That's incredible, and I'm really happy for God of War and Sony. I feel like they've been kind of lacking in the past couple years, or not years, but this past year we haven't really had too much. And then last year I don't think they had either too much in the holiday season as well. So at least they got their shit kind of turned around. Hopefully we get some announcements at the VGAs with Sony, whatever they have planned next year. They have to bring something to the table because Microsoft is coming guns blazing. You got Starfield, Fable, all these games coming out next year, hopefully. So who knows? We're just gonna have to wait. EA also announced 3-game partnership with Marvel. A Hulk game, possibly. That would be really awesome. I know a lot of people are pretty much putting anything up in the air. I've heard a Doctor Strange game, Fantastic Four. What was the other one? Damn, what was the other one? I swear there's another one. I can't think of it, but there's a shitload of games people just putting out there, but I really want a Hulk game. The last one I really enjoyed was Ultimate Destruction back in like 2005, which that would be incredible. You know, I with just the Hulk, how Hulk has been treated in the MCU the past couple of years, or really the past like 8 years, they definitely have an opportunity to pull all the Hulk fans into a really good game with a lot of destruction and Hulk capabilities. Because there's a rumor going around that World War Hulk, the movie, the plot line is going to be that there's going to be a multiverse Hulk. You know, the Eric Bana 2003 Hulk is going to come into their universe all pissed off and out of control, and you know, our Professor Hulk isn't going to be able to top him, and they're going to have to use all the Avengers to try and stop Hulk and all that. And that would be amazing, because he was the most comic book accurate Hulk. You know, you shoot him, he grows. The more angry he gets, he grows, and it just looked amazing. If you have it on Blu-ray, go back and give it a watch. That movie is phenomenal. I might actually watch that tonight, because that movie is that is awesome. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. The one game is Iron Man, so we have 2 other slots. Could be Doctor Strange, could be Fantastic Four, could be Ant-Man. I think that was the other game I was thinking about. People were saying an Ant-Man game. So yeah, I don't know. Ant-Man might be cool if you make it kind of like a grounded sort of game where you're small and everything's huge. That could be pretty fun, but who knows. We also got some Evil West gameplay. That was nice. Obviously, I'm gonna be a little busy with God of War and, you know, Modern Warfare 2 and all the games coming out in December. I'm just gonna give this one some time, maybe get a price drop. But as long as it's a straightforward action RPG vampire game, I'm all for it. Sounds incredible. All for it. Cannot wait. The PSVR 2 has been priced at $550, coming in February. Honestly, I was talking to a subscriber about this, and he was kind of going on about that, you know, it's priced competitively. You know, like $550 is a competitive price point versus everything. I think the MetaQuest has a cheaper VR. Maybe the Valve Index, I think, is more than $550 as well. So I mean, like, $550 is a good price point, but the problem is I think it's just going to be for people interested in VR, you know, and I don't think that number's huge. You know, I think at most you're going to get 20-30 million people interested at all. You know, that's a little low, but you know, maybe, you know, word of mouth will spread it that it's actually a really good headset. It's comfortable. It doesn't make you nauseous. All these concerns probably a lot of people have, and then, you know, maybe the number will rise up a little bit. And then, you know, obviously with the games, hopefully there comes a lot of games that are interesting, because as of right now, it's just a Horizon game and a couple other titles. And if those are going to be priced at $70, you know, with some being pretty janky looking, that'd be really disappointing. After you paid $550, $600 for this system, you know, you'd expect the games to be, you know, top notch if you're paying $70 per title. So I don't know. My main concern is it going to be comfortable? Is it going to give me headaches? That's my main concern. Do I have to wear my glasses? Do my glasses got to come off? If I do have them off, can I see in the VR world? How is it going to work? You know, I've only used a couple VR systems in my lifetime, so I don't know. I don't know if I'm really interested in paying, you know, $550 for something that has a couple games. You know, it's an accessory, by the way. This is a game accessory. So I don't know. This is and I don't know, but then when you look at it, like the Xbox Elite controller and all like the setup you buy can go over $200, and it's just a controller. It's just a controller, you know. And I kind of want one. I wanted to say Curtis Wolf on the controller, fucking cool ass color schemes with the back pedals, all that business. But I don't know. It just seems really expensive for what it is. Maybe once there's more games and I can kind of, because PSVR it started to get some decent titles, but it wasn't there yet. You could just tell it wasn't. But the games started to look more interesting, like they had a decent library. The only problem though, I feel like this isn't going to sell that well because of the backwards compatibility issue. Like if you could take all your VR games and go on the VR2, you immediately just sold everybody on. Whoever has the PSVR, you immediately just sold them on fucking buying the new one. You're like, okay, so I can play all my old games and all the new games in one place. Perfect. And you had to go and fuck that up, Sony. So obviously I don't think this is going to sell like hotcakes. But if it does, that'd be really interesting too. So there's that. The Famistu sales charts has showcased that the PlayStation 5 outsold the Switch in Japan. So I just put up the next gen charts episode the other day, so it's going to be interesting to see next week what it looks like, because usually the Nintendo Switch outsells PlayStation and Xbox like crazy. So I don't know what this was about. I know some people said, you know, it could have been God of War, it could have been Modern Warfare 2, which I don't think either of those games really pushed the sales. So I have no idea how the PlayStation 5, unless it was just a supply increase, which I think that's what it is, because Sony doesn't really supply Japan as much because they're not as popular. But obviously, I mean, maybe they are. You never know. Maybe they want to conquer Europe and America. You know, make sure they have a good install base in those territories before Japan. Who knows? But there's also some arguments that the Switch is dying, losing steam. You know, I don't think it's losing steam. I think it's just because it sells like crazy. I don't know where that argument comes from, you know. And they put out games, usually, you know, a good handful every year. You know, they had the Pokemon game and Bayonetta 3. They always have some game for the Nintendo fans. So I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see. I am interested to see the VG charts on that though. That looks like something. Lionsgate is also interested in a John Wick mainstream video game, which I don't know who's going to do this. I thought Sony owned Lionsgate, but I guess not, so I don't know where they're going to put that. I'd imagine it'd be like Sony game though. I don't know, because Stars is a subsidiary of Lionsgate, I believe. So I don't know how that works. I've always thought Sony owned Stars, but I might be wrong on that. But yeah, John Wick game, if you can make it I just wonder how they're going to do it, because obviously Keanu Reeves and John Wick, they're not a very dialogue-centric character, so obviously it just needs to be an action game. That would be really interesting. Be like that game Wet. If you ever played Wet, I feel like it'd be kind of like that. But yeah, we're just going to have to wait and find out. Hopefully they make something really interesting and action-packed. Speaking of action-packed, we got Atomic Heart's developer Mudfish Games apparently mistreated and crunched developers. This is one of those cases where I don't like to call bullshit, but I just don't know. We don't know anything, you know? It's like if your buddy got fired at Walmart and he tweeted out something and, you know, judging the company or making these accusations and it's like, oh shit, yeah, they definitely did. Like, who really knows? There's always two sides to a story. It's none of my business. And obviously they delayed the game like 3 times. So are they really crunching you if they had to keep delaying the game? You know, I don't know. But hopefully the game's good. Hopefully these issues can be resolved and people can be given a shitload of vacation time, paid vacay, you know, something to make people feel a little bit better. It's shitty that people just feel like they can just hang on to Twitter like it's gonna save their everyday life problems. Like, you know, it ain't always. Sometimes it just makes you look like kind of an ignorant person at times. if you're in the wrong, you know. But if they have been mistreated and crunched, that just sucks. So hopefully they didn't. Hopefully this is just a rumor from a disgruntled employee. Diablo 4 is rumored to be releasing April 2023. That would actually be a pretty good spot because there isn't too much coming out there. So that's cool. It is a rumor though, so take it with a grain of salt. I don't think it's going to be, you know, hopefully it launches successfully, that we don't get another Diablo 3 issue, you know. But you know, I've kind of lost faith with Blizzard and Activision a little bit. They definitely seem money hungry on all accounts across the board, so that sucks. I probably won't pick it up day one, but we'll see what the reviewers think, you know, going forward. But that's about all of the news highlights. I did want to go over the games releasing and then the 2023 lineup we got so far, and then we'll get into the movie highlights that happened this week. But so the Chant came out November 3rd. It's not really my type of game. It reminds me of kind of like a Dead by Daylight, Tomb Raider, Evil Dead kind of indie game, but it looks interesting, I guess, but it's not really for me. I'm a little busy in other games right now, but you never know. Maybe it'll go on sale or become free on PlayStation Plus. Sonic Frontiers is coming out November 8th. This has been called a Game of the Year contender, which is just frustrating. I don't think it's going to be Game of the Year. I don't even think it's going to get in the top 5, or the, you know, it could, you know, slim its way into the top 10, but you know, top 5 is definitely not in the top 5 games of this year. I don't see that happening. I think this is going to be a 75 to 80, you know. So I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a Game of the Year contender. God of War Ragnarok comes out November 9th. Can't wait. Obviously, this looks like it's going to be Game of the Year, especially with the reviews now. You know, I was kind of like on the fence, and then the reviews came out, and I'm like, shit. 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 9.5, 9, 9.5, 10, 9. Oh my God. There hasn't been a single 8. You know, so I think it's going to do amazing. I think it might be Game of the Year, with Elden Ring being a main contender. I know I was talking to a subscriber in the comments. He said, you know, undoubtedly it's going to be God of War. And I'm like, you know, you got to give credit where credit's due. You know, like Elden Ring completely mainstream, like it mainlined all of the casuals into the Souls-like genre, which is not an easy task to do. So that's just crazy that they got that much popularity off of Elden Ring. But God of War Ragnarok definitely looks like it's gonna knock it out of the park. Obviously, it's gonna perform better graphically, but you know, that's not always the main reason a game does better than another, is because of the graphics. Sometimes graphics, it's just a nice piece of shit to look at, you know, and that's not always good. So, but God of War Ragnarok is going to be something interesting. The Dark Pictures anthology, The Devil in Me, is coming out November 18th. Can't wait for that, but I'm probably not going to pick it up day one. I would have if it came out in October, but I'm probably going to be busy, and it's so yeah, I don't know. It does look interesting though. I do like the Saw plot line they got going there, but I do think the game is going to drop in price pretty quick, because they don't really get that high reviews. I want to see what the review is, you know, because usually it's like 75 to 80, and that's, I don't know, that's kind of disappointing. I like them all though. Like, they're all pretty good. They're all up there for me, so I might pick it up. Who knows? Evil West, it's coming out November 22nd. Again, not going to pick it up for a little bit. Probably wait for a price drop, but it does look, if it's as good as the gameplay looks, I'm hyped. Hopefully, if it, you know, it doesn't have any microtransactions or you know, any I'm trying to think of the word, live service. That was literally the word I was thinking. I'm like, what is that word for a shit system? Oh, live service. But yeah, if it's a live service game, that would really suck too. I just want a main, you know, streamlined action game in a vampire Wild West. That just sounds pretty cool. If you can nail that, I'll give you the respect you deserve, my friend. November 30th, we're getting Warhammer 40k Dark Tide. Unfortunately, that's not coming out on the Xbox for a little bit, but I do have PC Game Pass, so I'll pick that up if that hits there. I don't know if it is. I've seen the Xbox Game Pass, so hopefully it goes to PC Game Pass. Hopefully. The Callisto Protocol, the Midnight Suns, and Need for Speed Unbound are all releasing December 2nd. Only one out of those I'm probably going to pick up is the Callisto Protocol. Looks really phenomenal. The Midnight Suns, I'm still waiting for reviews to see how that action, the turn-based gameplay goes. But as for characters and the story, that looks interesting. Just don't know about the gameplay yet. And, on the possible price drop, maybe it doesn't do that well and, save, 10, 15 bucks pretty easy. You never know. You always got to be on that. Don't buy day one just because, fuck it, sometimes you can save some money. Need for Speed Unbound is also coming out, which I don't really, I got enough fucking racing games on my back catalog as it is, and I just, I'll wait for a price drop if it comes. I'm not too big into Need for Speed, and they fucking announced it way too late, like, you didn't give anybody time, really, which is just bonkers. You literally gave people less than a month to really analyze this, and really put it into your schedule of gaming. And there's already a shitload of games. There's just no time for you, Need for Speed. You should have fucking delayed yourself and given yourself more content or something, Need for Speed. I was not expecting it to come out this year. I really wasn't. I was thinking early next year. Easy, like March. February or March was what I was thinking, but whatever. We got Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion coming out December 13th. That's such a terrible title. I have it fucking pre-ordered, but that title is just so bad. They could have trimmed the fat off of that fucker for sure. For sure. I mean, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. Just take out the Reunion, make it Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. Boom. Sounds fucking good to me. You have Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. It's just, what are you doing? What are you doing with this fucking wording, bro? And I think it was a PSP game. I might be wrong, but I think it was a PSP game called Crisis Core. So they're like, it's the Crisis Core reboot for Final Fantasy VII, and then it's a reboot, so we'll say it's Reunion. It's like, this is so stupid. I don't get the naming. And then High on Life is coming out December 13th as well. Can't wait for that one. It's coming on Game Pass. I might pick it up if it's fun if it's fun enough. I'll pick it up for a physical copy as well, because I'm a big fan of Rick and Morty and that comedy style. I know some people aren't, but I'm into it. And if the gameplay really is as good as they make it out to be, with every line of dialogue being different and unique, that would be really interesting. So as for 2023, we don't got a lot of games so far announced. Decent bit, I'd say. With January, we got Forspoken and Dead Space coming out, and that's, I'm still a little iffy on Forspoken, waiting for reviews. Dead Space should be a day one buy, depending on how things go and what gets announced further as we go. But Dead Space looks like it's going to be Dead Space. I know a lot of people are kind of like comparing Dead Space to the Callisto Protocol, like, well, is the Callisto Protocol Dead Space? Like, which one's Dead Space? And I'm like, bro, they're basically the same fucking game. Why are you writing Dead Space's dick? It makes no sense. Like, if anything, this is the innovation, and it's behind the same team. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, you're really into Dead Space that much? Are you really? Like, because it's a classic. It's nostalgic. That's what I've been saying, is the game is going to be driving off of nostalgia, where the Callisto Protocol is going to be striving off of innovation. So which one do you think will bode well? Like, one is getting a graphical upgrade, and one is getting everything upgraded. Like, obviously, I'm team Callisto Protocol. I think it's going to rock the world. But Dead Space, it'll be fun. It'll be a cool way to look back at our past and see the upgrades, and it'll be fun. I mean, nothing wrong with it, but I don't get the hate. I don't get why people are like, oh my god, like, it's like, bro, have you seen the two sequels? Dead Space 2 and 3 were very meh, and it progressively got worse. See, like, 3 was very, not to my style. Definitely not my style. So, I played that one too, but the series is not that good. It just isn't. They ruined it. EA is some bitches, you know, and I'm glad that the Callisto Protocol got away from EA. If I do have that correct, I think they did get away from them, and they're doing... Who's publishing that? Oh, I'm curious. Where's it at? Where is it at? Oh, Striking Distance Studios. So, or Crafton. Haven't really... I don't know what they put out. Let's see. Nothing. They put out PUBG, which, yeah, they did say Callisto Protocol is supposed to be in the PUBG universe, so that's a little bit worrisome. But I mean, other than that, game looks phenomenal. Graphics, story-wise, everything looks really cool. The only difference is that, you know, I want to know what has made these monsters in the Callisto Protocol, whereas Dead Space, we know that it's kind of like a nod to Event Horizon. They find this thing in space and it corrupts things, and it makes sense, you know, where Callisto Protocol, it has something to do with this company. So we're just gonna have to wait and find out. Dead Island 2 is coming out early February, and then we have a lot of February, actually. I was gonna name it off real quick, but oh my god. So yeah, Dead Island 2, February 3rd. Looks very interesting. I still don't know if I'm getting... You know, I don't really plan if I'm getting a game day one until probably like a couple months prior. You know, I don't really like to do pre-orders much anymore since I've been fucked over on multiple times. Especially just in this past year, I've gotten fucked over by Battlefield 2042 and Vanguard, and it's just, you know, not every pre-order is worth the risk. You know, and Dead Island 2 has been on the fucking back burner forever, so you're gonna wait till reviews possibly. Hogwarts Legacy is coming out February 10th. I'm not a big Harry Potter fan. I'm into it, but for day one, I don't know. It definitely looks cool with the RPG elements, the building your own wizard, you know, the gameplay with the neon light effects with your wand. Looks all cool. It looks really interesting. We also have Wild Hearts, which is EA's answer to Monster Hunter, which is not my type of series, so I don't know. I don't think it's really for me. But if you're into it, it's coming out February 17th. Atomic Heart is coming out February 21st. Obviously, I'm super pumped up for Atomic Heart. I might pre-order it eventually. But yeah, Atomic Heart looks incredible. And then the last game in February is Company of Heroes 3, which is... I haven't played a Company of Heroes game in forever. You see, for March we have a kind of a mixed bag. That's why I was saying it would be nice if what you call it, the Atomic or not, Need for Speed Unbound, if that would get released in March. That would have made more sense to me because they don't got much. I mean, you got The Day Before coming out March 1st, which hopefully it's not a mess. Some people are kind of criticizing it, saying it's going to be an issue because it's a new developer. They haven't really worked on anything this ambitious, but I have high hopes for it. Hopefully it turns out well. It looks like a Division mixed with The Last of Us. You know, it looks gritty and realistic. It looks like it's, you know, has some major depth, you know, going up these skyscrapers. Hopefully there's, you know, 20, 30 floors to each building. You know, it has potential, but I'm not going to get my hopes up because usually when I do, it's always turns out to be a disappointment. So Skull and Bones is coming out March 9th, which to me, I just think this is a mistake. I think they should have just did it a Assassin's Creed spin-off, you know, and make it a, you know, you're either helping the Templars or the Assassins, and you have an RPG aspect as you can decide which one to fight for and all that, and kind of have a story for that. But I mean, there's nothing there. It's basically just Assassin's Creed 4's boat system plugged into a pirate world. You know, it doesn't seem like a lot there for me. So I don't know, that just seems like a waste. You know, I'm definitely not picking that up day one. And it's just gonna get smashed. You got The Day Before March 1st, and then March 24th you got Resident Evil 4, which that might be a day one, to be honest. That one looks awesome, but yeah, Skull and Bones is gonna get crushed. I feel like it's gonna get crushed. That's so sad. It's probably gonna get another delay If I'm being honest, it might be pushed to June just just to get away from Resident Evil 4 and A Legend of Zelda. So, because we do have Legend of Zelda coming out in May 12th, so there's that. And then June we have RoboCop Rogue City, which looks interesting. Hopefully that's just a straightforward RoboCop, adaptation. It looks very I don't know what's up with these old IPs, like doing side-by-side comparison, like to the movies. They did it with RoboCop. They did it with Texas Chainsaw Massacre recently. They did it with The Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I don't know who's doing all these games, but you're awesome for bringing these 80s hits back to the mainstream. So that's awesome. But let's get into the film news highlights. There was a decent bit here as well. So we had Henry Cavill. We're going to start off with a sad one. So Henry Cavill dropped The Witcher. Obviously, he just had too many projects going on with the whole Enola Holmes, Sherlock Holmes movie. Superman, obviously. I don't know when that last Mission Impossible was. I think that was a while ago. But he's just had a lot on his plate. And I think I've heard, they've been taking creative control away from Henry Cavill, or at least been doing, ignoring his suggestions in other parts other than Geralt. But so he's leaving after the 4th season, which is a little disappointing. But at least you get one more season with him. And then the next season is going to be Liam Hemsworth, which I think he just doesn't look like Geralt at all to me. I think they could have picked literally any other actor in Hollywood, and they could have did a better job. So that's a little disappointing, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Twitter rocked the world with the new subscription for the verification check marks. Honestly, I wanted to talk a little bit about this, but to be honest, I'm not the biggest Twitter guy. I've never really been into Twitter ever in my life. I don't follow celebrities like that. If anything, I'll see someone's post on a news app or something like that, or on Facebook, I'll scroll by it and see it and click the link. But as of following every single thing that someone says on Twitter, or it's just not me. I don't care. I'm sure everybody's gonna just pay this $8 a month. I mean, if we're gonna pay out the ass for Netflix and they don't really offer us much, I'm sure Twitter is gonna be fine. There's just a lot of people saying about this hate speech and Elon Musk is ruining Twitter. It just sounds like a bunch of bullshit. Like, Twitter has always been shit. Have you ever noticed? It's not been a good platform, especially in the past couple, like 5-6 years. I feel like it's just gotten worse as times went on. And I've just slowly ignored Twitter, like, completely. But I don't know. I don't know what to think about this. I'm not a Twitter guy. Tell me in the comments below what you guys think of this whole subscription model. I think it's a great way for Twitter to make profit while, not appeasing to any corporations or companies directly, and they can still make a profit without going along with these narratives that both sides are kind of pitching, So I don't know. I think it's overall good for Twitter. And I like Elon Musk for the most part. I don't really like his Neuralink idea. I think that's anything involved with the brain is sketch to me, but it is a good concept, I've always been into Deus Ex, so. Friday the 13th is also getting a prequel series headed to Peacock, which is funny. You think about it, Halloween is on Peacock, and now they got this there as well. They say that Friday the 13th cloned Halloween, and I mean, I don't know. I think Halloween is much more supernatural from the get-go, and just more creepy, more menacing than Friday the 13th, which I think is just straightforward slasher content to get drunk to and watch and have a good time, where Halloween is a much more darker idea, I feel like, but they all fall in that line. I was wondering though what this is going to be, because I think Friday the 13th, a prequel would probably be his mother raising him. I don't know what Jason was. Was he Asperger's, or was he the product of some incest in the 60s or 50s or what? I don't know. But I don't know if I'm really interested in seeing a show like that. It sounds like a American Horror Story parody to me, but you know that it doesn't sound terrible. I would watch it. I got Peacock, so who knows? I'll definitely give you guys a first impressions if I watch it, but as long as it's gory and dark and moody, I guess I could rock with it. I think the mom never really got too much because she was only in the first one. I know a lot of people literally forgot her so much that they completely forgot Jason wasn't in the first Friday the 13th, you know? So that's funny when you think about it, you know? And maybe this is her much needed exposure that she's never gotten. I don't even remember Jason's mom's name, you know, but I'm sure it's out there, you know? So hopefully this will give her some personality. Bruce Campbell also teased the Evil Dead sequel for 2023. It's coming out April 23rd, I think. But I don't know what the sequel is. Is this a sequel to 2013? Which, that's crazy. Like, we waited a decade to put out another one, which is kind of similar to the original two, which I think almost came out a decade apart. I don't think it was a whole decade, though. I think it was like 4 or 5 years. But yeah, I'm interested. I hope Sam Raimi directs it, but I don't think he is. He just got done with Multiverse of Madness, so I'm thinking it's going to be the same director or someone similar. But as long as it's, because that last one was awesome, the gore and that, oh my god, it was such a dark movie, you know. It was a really good movie actually. So hopefully it's good. I'll see that in theaters if it's a legit Evil Dead movie, you know. But I don't know. I think we're just gonna have to wait until we get an actual trailer, not just a set photo or whatever, you know, like a little tease. But this next story was actually pretty funny, because I had to do a double take, okay? Because I was tired when I woke up and I saw it. But I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Equalizer franchise with Denzel Washington. They're actually filming Equalizer 3 right now, and on the set there was a drug bust for 120 grams of cocaine, you know, and I initially thought it was the prop people, you know, like they were using the actual hard shit, and they got caught. That's what I was thinking, you know, for practical effects, you know, but no, actually I reread it and it was the catering people. So my first thought was like, oh, so these are just a bunch of cooks in the back, or, you know, etc. Anybody, hostesses, whoever has to hand the shit out, whatever happens on a set. And I'm just thinking like, oh, they have all these like these lower waged cooks in the back, all taking a bump off this California shit, like doom doom doom. All right, we got a lot of celebrities that we have to feed. We don't have a lot of time. This is Philadelphia. We don't have the time. It's hot. We need to do this. You know, that was what came to head. I was like, Jesus, 120 grams for one set. You know, I don't know what the hell was going on there, but I found that funny. So The Last of Us has a confirmed date for January 15 on HBO Max. I'm gonna check it out, but I'll tell you right now, I'm not interested. Really, this show is not gonna top the video game. It just isn't. Pedro Pascal isn't Joel to me. The little girl is not Ellie. She looks like she's straight ripped from fucking The Hills Have Eyes. She does not look right. She doesn't look cute. She don't look fun. She doesn't look like someone I'd hang out with compared to the actual Ellie from the video game that looked cool, you know. So you know, I just wish they did a better casting. Even Pedro Pascal, they could have did someone better than him, you know. And I know they probably couldn't get Hugh Jackman, and sometimes you just can't get actors, but there's a lot of actors out there, you know. And I don't know if he was exactly the best pick, but I'm sure he'll manage. But as for the chick playing Ellie, I don't even remember her from Game of Thrones. And if I think it is who I think it is, or if it is who I think it is, and then it's just that little bitch that I didn't like the little kid that was ruling a nation, I think, or something. Like, I can't remember. I don't remember her from Game of Thrones, so this is not good. I just don't want her for Ellie. I wanted someone better, man. It's so disappointing, you know. It's absolutely disappointing, you know. And the fact this is a TV show and you have so much more time, and they're just gonna botch it. I have a feeling, you know. I just have a feeling. Westworld was also canceled. It isn't getting its 5th season. Obviously, that show has just been getting slowly been getting off of everybody's radar. I don't know why they didn't just go for the 5th season, just finish it. They said they're gonna do 5, just do the 5th and be done with it, and wrap it up, wrap the story up, because the 4th season just finished, I think, in August, and that's it. Like, if there's a cliffhanger, you're not getting any resolved on the cliffhanger. It's just over, and that kind of sucks. But yeah, they just went in too weird with that, I feel like. So, but yeah, other than that, the movie's releasing. I wanted to kind of go over that. There isn't too much coming out the rest of this year, which is a little disappointing. Obviously, we got Black Panther coming out November 11th, this Thursday. I'll give you guys my impressions on that. Hopefully it's better than I'm expecting, so we'll see. Spirited with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell, their little Christmas duet. I think it's a musical. It's coming out November 11th. I'm just going to watch it on Apple TV because I think it comes out like a week or two later on Apple TV. I'll check that out. Paradise City is coming out November 11th. I'm going to pass on it, but it is a John Travolta, Bruce Willis action flick, so it sounds fun. Sounds like a movie I'd rent, have a drink and just have some laughs, because I like both those actors. It's by the Saban company behind Power Rangers and a couple other action movies that were kind of borderline B movies, but so I don't know, not really my thing. A Christmas Story Christmas is coming out November 17th. I'll watch it, but I hope they don't think this is going to top the classic, like, whatsoever. It will not. It's not going to top A Christmas Story. That dude has to be old as hell too, but so he looks good for his age, but I don't know, not really my type of thing. I'll watch it just because it's Christmas time, because I think it's hitting HBO Max, I believe, or it might be on another streaming service, but I'm not sure. The Menu, that is another one that looks decent for theaters. It's like a comedy horror. These people come to this restaurant or this catering party, and eventually they're in competition, like the Hunger Games, trying to get killed by the waiters. I don't know. It looks interesting. It has the dude from Voldemort. I think the main dude that played Voldemort is the villain, if I am correct. Disenchanted is coming out November 18th on Disney Plus. I don't know, I might watch it. I watched the old one way back when, in 2007. My girlfriend's never seen it, so maybe I'll show her that. Slumberland with Jason Momoa, coming out November 18th. Again, it's not really my type of movie. Kind of reminds me of Where the Wild Things Are, or I think that was a book that I read back when I was a kid. Gives me those vibes, and I'm just not into it. She Said is coming out November 18th as well in theaters, which is not really my thing. I'm just tired of this Harvey Weinstein shit. Like, I get it. I get the dude is douche. I get he's weird. He's pervy. He uses women, and I guess women use him to get up in Hollywood. I don't know, whatever the case may be, whatever happened to who and what, and I don't care. I just don't give a fuck. I don't care. It's been way too long, and if you're not going to talk about all the other shit, like we made 10 movies on Harvey Weinstein, but we can't make one on the fucking Epstein Island case. Then you're a hypocrite, and I don't really give a fuck. That's just the way I'm gonna put it. I don't like to get political on the channel, but that just has to be said. Like She Said is just beating a dead horse at this point. We've seen so many movies talking about fucking Harvey Weinstein. If you're not gonna bring up fucking trying to remember all these damn names, Epstein's Island. If you're not gonna bring that up, then you're a hypocrite, bro. You're a hypocrite. There's worse things going on than just judging a woman sexually, for a part. That's like the least of our concerns. There's a whole ass island with kids potentially, and a court case we never got any information on, and there's no movie about that, right? Not one fucking movie. Not one, and that's just, fuck all that, that's just my opinion. I've seen enough of them at this point. I'm not, it's expensive to go to the movie theater, so you want me to go rehash this shit over and over and over again with just different actors? Just go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Bones and All is coming out November 18th. I'm gonna pass on it. As soon as I saw the trailer, it was not for me. I don't even like that kid. from Dune. He actually died in Homeland, a show I've been watching recently, and that was funny because I just don't like him. I don't like his acting. I don't like his style, his attitudes, I don't know. He's not for me. And we're around the same age actually too, so that's fucky. It's like someone you see that you just don't fuck with, you know? You're like, I don't like you. And I don't like that everybody else likes you. Like, I hated Dune. Thought it was the most boring ass shit. And then they're all praising it, and he did an amazing job. I'm like, nah, bro. Nah, I don't think so. I think that movie was fucking average as fuck. Actually, probably below average. But that's just my inside hater. I fell asleep during that movie. I legit fell asleep. I was bored as fuck. That was a terrible pacing, terrible movie, and the fact it got so much praise was beyond me. But The People We Hate at the Wedding is coming out November 18th as well on Amazon Prime. So a shitload coming out on the 18th actually. You know, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movies coming out. That's crazy. But The People We Hate at the Wedding looks interesting. It's coming on Amazon. I'll check it out. Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. It's sad Chris Evans isn't going to be in it. Thought his part was pretty funny in the first one. Weird it's going to Netflix, but I'll check it out. November 23. Or November 23rd, I should say. Yeah, that looks interesting. The Sun with Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman is one of my favorite actors. Movie's coming out November 25th, but I'm not going to really... I don't know. He'd have to do a lot of heavy lifting to make a movie about a man and his son, you know, for a movie theater. I don't know. It's kind of like more of a movie you wait to rent and have a chill night and a decent drama story, but to go to a movie theater and just watch a drama between a man and his son is a little bit much for me. Probably not going to spend, you know, $60-$70 for that. That seems a bit much. And then December doesn't really got too much. We got Violent Night, which looks cool. Pinocchio, Del Toro's Netflix adaptation of Pinocchio is coming out December 9th. That's good. Can't wait to see that weird adaptation of Pinocchio, because that last one with Tom Hanks I heard bombed. Avatar The Way of the Water, December 16th. And then Babylon, December 23rd. I remember thinking that was a sequel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood because it had a lot of the similar actors, Brad Pitt and Margaret Robbie, but it's not, so I don't know. I'm interested, you know, but if it's snowing like crazy, I'm probably not going to go because it doesn't look that crazy of a good movie, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. As for what I've been up to, I mean, as for TV shows, I finished Severance on Apple TV. That's a pretty good one. If you guys have Apple TV, that's one of the good TV shows to watch right off the bat. It's about how you can sever your brain and make two different personalities, a work personality and a non-work personality. They call it an innie and an outie. It's crazy. Has a dude from Step Brothers, I forget his name, Adam something, I forget, but pretty good show. Kind of like binged it for the most part. Watched like 6 episodes in a row because it's pretty good. It could have ended a little bit better, but for the most part, pretty good show. I finished Homeland's 3rd season. Honestly, the blonde bitch has been ruining the season for me, but Brody's back now, so I hope it can keep me interested. There's 8 fucking seasons, so I just don't know how they're gonna keep this on for 8 seasons for myself. Obviously, that's why it ended, because I'm sure they ran out of shit to do, but we'll see how it goes. Other than that, I mean, we're waiting to go see Black Panther. That's going to be a good movie to go see this weekend, and I'm probably just going to play a little bit more Call of Duty tonight. Probably watch something, I don't know. I might watch the 2003 Hulk, just because it's such a beautiful movie on Blu-ray. It's crazy to look at, you know, but I don't know. Probably gonna. I know I got my Modern Warfare 2 guns. I'm pretty much done at this point. I got the LMGs, 1 LMG left, which is almost done. I have 3 submachine guns, which I've just been taking a break because I'm not really a submachine gun guy, but I want to get the attachments. You know, got all the assault rifles done, but the M16 because I've heard it's just shit. I think I might wait for the patch. Hopefully they buff it a little bit. And then, yeah, I'll probably I'm just probably gonna leave the marksman rifles and the shotguns and the battle rifles for the last, because I think I got 2 battle rifles that I have to do, and then shotguns, marksman rifles, and then I'm done. There's literally no more guns, and I'll just be camo grinding, and that's just kind of crazy that it's legit probably been, how many days has that been? I don't even fucking know. It's probably been about a week or 2. It'll be about a week or 2 by the time I finish all that shit. But I don't know. It's been a crazy week. A lot of news. I know I've just been really just really busy, to be honest. Like, I have this wedding coming up this week, Friday, and so I was dealing with that. I was just doing a lot of errands, and it's just been kind of a mess of a week, and just been really busy doing errands and shit, trying to get everything together and getting my clothes ready for this wedding. And playing Modern Warfare 2 has been, it's been interesting. It's had its ups and downs, you know, but it's really just based off the community. If I'm in a shitty lobby, then it's going to be a bad time. If I'm in a decent lobby, it's usually fun. So at this point, it's just up to the community and how they behave. If you have a bunch of douchebag players, you're going to have a bad time. So, but yeah, the channel's going good. I just got a Next Gen Charged episode out. I think that's my recent video. And if you guys are new to the channel and, you know, this is your first time watching this podcast, really this is just a sit down and talk kind of thing, you know, because, you know, I don't get a lot of time to talk through things, you know, and I do this about once a week, usually every Friday, but, you know, things have been chaotic lately. But and then obviously I do Next Gen Charts once a week. Usually I do those about Wednesday or Thursday. And then, you know, Next Gaming, I try to put out as much as I can. Trailer reactions, all that. Try to do it as much as I can. But, you know, on the weekends, I try not to. I try to give myself time because, you know, Sundays are usually my day. I watch usually NFL, football, have a good time with that. Play whatever game or watch whatever show that I'm interested in. And Saturdays and Friday are usually one of my girlfriend's days off, so we usually like to do some shit on those days, which is cool. Usually I record these podcasts on a late Thursday night and then upload them on Friday, and I get a little 3-day weekend, you know, where I don't really have to do much, and it's nice. It's a nice break. I usually do shorts every day no matter what, because usually there isn't a lot of news that comes out on the weekend. That's why I stopped doing weekend videos as much, because it was getting difficult to make enough shit for a video, because you'd have to just not use certain things from, you know, Friday to make Saturday decent, and I was just like, fuck it, we don't need to do that. There isn't enough news coming out on Saturday and Sundays, which it doesn't make sense. You'd think there would be, but, you know, maybe all the news journalism sites and all that just kind of like close their doors on the weekends, which makes sense. I'm not judging, but it is a nice little break. We've had a nice little increase in subscribers. We broke through 300, and then now we're over 330 subscribers, so that's awesome. I can't wait to get to 500. 500 is going to be a nice milestone before we reach 1,000, and after 1,000, I really don't know what to expect. You know, honestly, I don't know. It's been good so far. I've been having fun. It's been nice. The community is starting to kind of start commenting and being awesome in that regard. But there's also this one dude that I kind of forgot to talk about it. I feel bad now that it's kind of like at the end of the podcast. But he did want me to make a whole video about how Game Pass is, they don't actually post it's not concurrent users, it's like lifetime, how many users they've had over this period of time. They don't have they don't have like an active user base number, which I didn't know. I didn't actually spot that, and I didn't realize that Microsoft they don't post their Game Pass subscribers like, say, Netflix says they have 100 million. Microsoft is like, we've had 25 million increase, but really it might be even less than that. It might be like 10 million Game Pass subscribers, which would be fucking insane because it's so popular and it's so praised, and Game Pass is so huge and so fantastic, right? And I'm like, I don't think anybody really uses it, to be honest. Like, I think it would be more acceptable on PC versus console. I've seen people say PC is getting a pretty good increase compared to consoles, which I think it's because they have a lot more to offer on PC. They have some actual PC games that people are interested in, which I think the Xbox, I mean, everything that is on Xbox Game Pass, I own it all. You know, the only ones that I don't is a Plague Tale, Sniper Elite 4 if you're into that, but I didn't like that title. Scorn, which got kind of like average reviews, and that's about it. I mean, you get High Life coming on in December, but it's just a handful of games, and you're paying a shitload of money. You're paying what is it, 15? You're paying $180, and you're getting, you know, 3 games. So I mean, I guess you're paying for what you get, but I don't know. It's a mess. Everything's a mess. Anyway, guys, that's today's show. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to join the Wolf Pack. Peace.
It's